Hey everybody, it's Justin from Bittner and Christmas is coming, and I've owned a Christmas light business for 15 years, so I figured, you know what, let me do a video where I give you all the tips and secret tricks that we do as a professional Christmas light company to maybe help you this season with these bright little things. Today on Bittner. All right, so first off, what type of light should I buy, Justin? Should I buy LED or should I buy incandescent? And the only thing incandescent that I own was on this piece of garland, so that's what I pulled out of storage somewhere. The pros and cons. Incandescent is ultra cheap. You can pick this up for $1 at the dollar store even. $2 to $3 at the big box stores. LED is very expensive in comparison, and most of the time much more expensive than you think. This is usually sold in 100 lights for $1 to $3, and this is usually sold in 50 lights, so half for $13, $14. So in reality, you're spending like $28 versus $3. So there is a big price difference. The problem with incandescent, however, is that it's a huge electricity hog. For your typical 100 light strand, you can only put 6 of them in a line together, so like plugging them one into another. If you do more than that, the gauge of the wire is not thick enough and it will fry itself. And additionally, on a circuit breaker, not just an outlet, but a circuit breaker, it's only going to hold about 32 strands. Convert that over to LED. LED can hold 440 strands on a circuit breaker, so a huge amount of lights that you can put there, way less electricity than these guys. I can also put 44 of these around all in one giant line if I felt like doing it. Now, a big thing to also know is you should never, if you're going to buy LEDs, don't buy them at the big box stores. It's super tempting, and the big box stores are going to hate me saying this to you right now, but the LEDs at the big box stores are garbage. Why, Justin? So when you look at your typical incandescent lights, right? This guy, even this one has a little like clasp to hold the light bulb in there. But the light bulb is removable. That is actually its greatest weakness. Water can then penetrate into this line and corrode the wire inside. If this light bulb is moved a little bit one way or the other, it's going to misalign on the little wires inside, and then the electricity is not going to continue on. These mini lights are not one solid piece of wire, it's a million little pieces of wire daisy chained. And so that's why when you have one that comes out, the entire line goes out. So the LEDs at the big box store also remove. None of them are permanently in there. And so you still have that same default inherently in the product. The product will fail most likely within a season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons because water can penetrate, bulbs can come out, bulbs can twist, bulbs can break, all these negative things. What you should buy if you're going to buy LED, again, for most people, incandescent is fine. Don't blow all the money. But if you're going to buy LEDs because you're like, I want to buy it one time, I want to buy good stuff, and I don't want it to go bad, it'll be these lights that we have for a very long time. Search online for commercial grade. This is called 5 millimeter conical, and it is one piece acrylic molded lights. The lights don't come out. I can run this over with the car, and it is not going to break this. So these lights, I've had my business for around 15 years. The only time they ever break is if they're physically broken by one of my employees, like ripping them out of a tree or something. So they're indestructible. For the amount of money that I spent on them, they are well worth it. These will typically, for a 50 strand, be around like $13, $14, something like that. But again, it's worth it. I would much rather buy this for $13, $14 than like $10 at the big box store for some LED product that's not going to last forever like this is going to. Okay, tip 2 is my best tip, bar none. This is what you should do, and this is how to put away mini lights. You do not need to buy any of those gimmicky type of things on how to store your Christmas lights. All you need is a bin and your hand. So what I do is I pick up the female end of the line and I wrap it around my hand, 3, 4, or 5 times. And now I have it off of my hand in a ball. You can even squish it if you want to. It'll become an even tighter ball when we complete this. What we're going to do is we're going to turn it into a ball of yarn. So I'm just going to start wrapping, and I'm doing it a million times slower than I usually do, just so I can illustrate for you. But I'm rotating this ball, and I'm wrapping the line in random different directions. And so what that does is, even if I drop this ball right now, it stays in its ball. And that's because, like if I just wrapped it like this a whole bunch of times, I could take off that circle. But by randomly wrapping it in every direction, it becomes kind of like a solid structure that is perfectly secure. So when I'm all done, the reason why I started with the female is now I have the male here. I can then kind of tuck it, and I have this ball. And when I'm ready to use it again, because the male is sticking out, I can just go like this, check my lights, they're ready to go. This is the most secure way. You can throw 100 of these in one of those black Tupperware bins, and they will not tangle up with each other, and then you can just take them back out again when it's time to next season. So my third tip is back to this ball again. Now that I have it in this ball, there's a secondary purpose other than just for storing it where it doesn't get all tangled up. And that is, it makes it way easier to put it around something. So let's say my arm is a tree trunk. I can just pass this ball around again and again and again and again. And it was so easy. My lights aren't getting tangled up on itself. So let's just say now I'm not using a ball and I have this big long line. If I were to wrap this tree the other way, I'd have to grab all this stuff and take it around. I feel like one of those infomercials right now where they're like, there has to be a better way, right? But this is a really bad way. Having that tight ball of Christmas lights made it really easy to apply it without getting all tangled up when it's time to put it around a tree trunk or a bush or something else. All right, the next thing is that you have to tape all female outlets on every single thing that you're putting outside. Water is not our friend. The outlets that should be on the exterior of your house are GFI outlets, those ones with the little like test and reset buttons in the middle. And the whole reason they were designed and why you have them in your bathroom and your kitchen is to avoid electrocution. You know, people with the old drop the hairdryer in the bathtub thing and electrocution, that's what those are to prevent. So they're very sensitive to water. And so if I have a million of these female plugs just sitting there collecting water in them, it will set off that GFI and then all your Christmas lights go out. So the easiest way to do that, you can use electrical tape. I could only find a white roll in here right now, but you know, your typical black electrical tape. You just pull a little piece off and you just slap it over the end. That's it. You don't have to go crazy. Water follows the path of least resistance. So if a bead of water hits here, it's just going to roll off and keep going. It's not trying to get under the tape and get in there and work its way around. And don't forget that on the other end where you have the male, there's always a female, or most of the time, there's a female on this side too. So every single one of these needs 2 pieces of tape most likely, unless I'm daisy chaining a whole bunch together. Let's talk C9 lights. So these are the big light bulbs that you can put outside. There's also C7, they're kind of in between. You can obviously do LED, you can do incandescent. Most of the time they are removable and replaceable, so that's cool. This is different than a mini light because this is lamp cord, and these lights kind of vampire into the cord. So you could actually, they sell replacement ones. You could just start putting them all over the place if you felt like it. And if one goes out, the other ones do not go out. So that is one of the benefits of this type of light. Now, the big question is incandescent or LED. They're similar in looks. This is a slightly different color. This is your old-fashioned type of thing. This is way cheaper. It's about 1/5 the cost of this bulb. But it's made of glass, hence my safety glasses right now. And if I hit it, I'm not trying to break it right now, it just changed to this pure white. I call this going supernova, and if you go supernova, you're gonna go pop. So if it goes that color, it's gonna die pretty soon. This is a standard light bulb, and impacts will affect it. So that does mean that these are gonna break a lot, even if you're not physically breaking the glass on them. So that can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. These LEDs, on the other hand, they are plastic. Let's hit it with a hammer, just for fun. Thor hammer. Okay. They do break, they are plastic, but physical impacts do not cause them to go out, unlike their incandescent friends. So these will last you longer. They're, again, 5 times the price, and they use a lot less electricity. So there are lots of pros here. They still go out though. And so that is one thing that I want to mention. They go out. And typically, you see the bottom of this one. This is a brand new one, so it's nice and clean. See the bottom of this one? It's all corroded. That happens to these too. So over time, dirt and just minerals and all sorts of stuff, rain, transplants stuff into this socket cup, and it sits in it, and it will eventually ruin the contacts inside here. So this doesn't last forever, unlike those commercial mini lights. So my suggestion is to always buy those commercial mini lights if you want to spend more than a few dollars. They will last you forever. This thing, on the other hand, you still have some decision making to do, because it's not gonna last you forever. It'll last you longer, but trust me, these super expensive bulbs, I'm still replacing them all the time, so, you know, toss up there. All right, my next cool thing is to use a product called a Gilbert plug, and these are very handy little plugs that you can turn lamp cord into an extension cord. You can change the length of Christmas lights, all sorts of stuff. They're super handy. Unfortunately, they're typically not sold in any stores, so you do need to find these online, and I'll link them below. What these do is they have 2 prongs in here that when you press it up against the wire, pierce the wire, and so then the electricity comes out here. They're very versatile. So let's say I have this, you know, short strand of Christmas lights and I only need 2. I can just snip it and add a male plug at the end if I want to. I separate the 2 little wires so they're not touching, and I just stuff it in the pocket, lay it down, and slide a cap on top. And now I can just plug it in, and it was that quick. I can do the same thing with a female at the other end, but another very handy trick, and this comes into play, let's say you want to put a lot of Christmas lights and a whole bunch of bushes in a row. It's a lot cleaner for the Christmas light bush to just have the lights on the bush and then the next bush. But what most people usually do, just to save on extension cords, is you'll kind of wrap one bush and jump to the next one. So you have that Christmas light in the air, and that doesn't look that great. So what you can do is, if you buy some lamp cord at the big box store, you can just run it the length of all your bushes, and then at every bush, I just go behind it with one of the female plugs, put it right on here, cap on, squeeze it together, and now I have an outlet at every single bush. And then I can just pick up some Christmas lights, plug it in, and they work. So these plugs are really, really, really handy. I use them for a lot of stuff. You know, one weird thing, just while we're talking about it, that I use this for, if I'm wall mounting a TV and I have to put a hole in the drywall so that you hide the wires, you can just make a very teeny tiny wire-sized hole. So, yay big. Shove the wire down the hole, fish it out at the other end. Once the wire's out on both sides of the wall, then I put my plug on. That way I don't have to make a hole the size of the plug. I make a hole the size of the wire and put the plug on after. When we're installing trees for a customer, we never buy a tree that has lights on it. It's like having a DVD VCR combo, if you're as old as I am. If one of those breaks, well, the whole thing's junk down. You need to throw it out. So it's very easy to break Christmas lights. So why buy a tree that if you break some of these Christmas lights, you feel the need to then throw the tree away? So instead we buy a much cheaper empty tree. And then in this case, we have some Govee animated Christmas lights. So these 2 things together are going to be a lot cheaper than if you buy a pre-lit tree. So this way I can have some fun animated lights with it. If these ever break, I can just take them off, put something else on there. These Govee lights are pretty cool. They're all controlled by my phone, so I can, you know, change colors. I can animate it with one touch. I can make it music sound oriented, so it's changing with the sound of my voice. It even has a timer on here, so it'll turn itself off every night without having an additional timer that you have to plug in. So that's cool. So I like Govee lights. I use them in my other video when I redid the boys' room. I used like 10 different Govee light products, so they sent me out this one for free to use in the video. So thanks, Govee. This next tip, we do not do this professionally, obviously, with my company, but some of my customers showed me this, and it's just a really easy thing. If you have outdoor landscape lighting, all you have to do is place a red and green cup right over the lights. It will tint the lights for you. Most likely they're not going to blow away. You might want to put a little piece of tape on there or something. But it takes you 2 seconds and now your house is lit up red and green. So super easy thing if you're trying to not be up on a ladder all day. Now, whenever I'm doing a tree or a bush or anything else, we're always trying to get the same spacing. So we always use a hand as our spacing. So if you continue to do that hand spacing, and every time you check it, eventually you get really good at it where you don't need to check it anymore, then you get a very uniform look, and uniformity is what looks really nice. When it's sloppy and it's all over the place, no good. Now, whenever I have 2 strands of mini lights that I'm going to connect, I don't just plug them in together. I do a crisscross. So I make an X, bring it under, plug it in. So it's not in a knot per se, but you can't get it undone if you pull on it. And that's important because, you know, somebody accidentally pulls on it, or even if the wind makes a tree branch move, it can unplug it and then a whole bunch of your stuff is out. So whenever we're doing a tree or anything that's too tall for us to reach, we use these telescoping poles and we just tape a coat hook to the end of it. That way we can grab it and kind of move it around up on the tree. Now, if you don't have one of these, like a pool skimmer pole, you can use a broom and just attach a hook to it, or a painter's pole will work as well. The one that I have goes 30 feet, so it's really, really tall. But of course, if you're just doing something at your house, just stick a hook on it and it'll work pretty well. All right, so it's starting to snow, so I got to get going, but I hope you got some good tips out of this. You know, Christmas lights isn't rocket science, but the #1 tip, if you ball your lights, it's going to make your life a lot easier. Stay safe in the shop, and I'll see you in the next one.